Hey everybody, it is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, November 25th, 2019, and we again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but in my opinion, the most valid prices of the day to make your buying and selling decisions from are the prices that are as close as you can get them to the close of the market. During the regular day, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders, they're all battling it out. I consider it a lot of noise. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions, the market makers come in, particularly in the last few minutes of the day, and they come in with size. And I think they have the best information, best technology, and I think they make the best decisions. And so I want to base the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day, along with the big boys. And yep, in my opinion, I think it's the most valid price of the day. So anyway, thank you everybody for coming by today. I appreciate it. I hope you had a nice weekend. I appreciate you coming and spending your time here with me. There's a lot of other things you could be doing. So I really do appreciate you coming here. And I hope you're getting some kind of return on your time investment by following me each day and letting me break the market down to you and how I view things. So anyway, hey Evan, good to see you. Thank you for coming by. It's always nice to see you. All right, well, we're having a good day today. The Dow is up 145 points right now. It's up about 0.5%. NASDAQ's having a big day, up 103 points, up 1.22%. The NASDAQ's up 19 and a half points, up about 0.63%. So anyway, great day today for us, and hope you're having a great day as well. Let's take a look here. So, all right, well, interesting day. So anyway, the plan for today, as usual, the format for today is, first of all, we're going to go ahead and run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at all my current positions. We're going to talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, what methodology I was using, what approach I was using, what my thoughts were, and then more importantly, or most importantly, how I'm going to manage them going forward, either to the upside or the downside. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology. As you know, in my opinion, the greatest skill that you can acquire and hone and develop in trading is being able to stick with your plan, make a plan, stick with the plan. Problem is emotions come into play, fear and greed, and really what happens is they derail us from following our plan. So it's important to learn how to trade. It's important to learn the mechanics and the support and resistance, the technicals. That is very important, but that's step one. Then step two is you have to develop a good plan. It doesn't have to be the best plan in the world. You just have to factor in having small losses, letting your winners run, but it all circles back to emotions. It all circles back to trading psychology. So I really think that you need to develop it and work on it no matter how long you've traded. It's something that is always going to be a challenge. And so I do like to talk about trader psychology every day, hoping that you will start to internalize what I'm saying and you'll make it part of your make it part of your complete trading package, right? Both the technicals and the emotions. After that, we're going to go through my watch list one by one, the stocks in my watch list one by one. We're going to take a look at the support, resistance levels. We're going to look at indicators such as RSI, MACD, ATR channels, moving averages, and the way that I view trading, the way that I view technical support and resistance. I look at each technical indicator as a potential group of buyers, and if you want to be in a trade and have that trade be a profitable trade for you, in my opinion, it's much more likely to happen if you're in the group of as many buyers as possible. So therefore, I look at one indicator as one group, I look at another indicator as another group, and so forth and so on. And if I can get them to line up, then instead of being in the company of one group, theoretically, I'm in the company of two or three groups. So the more buyers, the more better if you want to have a profitable trade. So we're going to go down through, we're going to look for those combination of indicators, and we are also going to look at the risk to reward. You know, it's important to look for those combinations or confluence of indicators. It's very, very important. However, after you do that, you do have to look at risk to reward. So you need a good setup, ideally with a combination or a confluence of indicators. And secondly, you need to analyze the risk to reward ratio based upon your support levels underneath you, your resistance levels above you, and be sure that you have a good risk to reward, right? Better, more reward than risk. So we're going to go through, we're going to look for the indicators, we're going to look for the risk to reward, and at the end of the day, if something looks good, I will go ahead and enter a position at the end of the day. And then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions whatsoever about what I discussed today, please let me know. Don't be shy. Type it in the chat. I'm very happy to go over it, talk about it, clarify it for you. If you have any other questions about trading in general, something that I didn't bring up, I'd be happy to answer that as well. And if you have any stock symbols that you would like me to take a look at and give you my opinion on, I'm very happy to do that as well after the market closes. If you do have a stock that you think it would be important for the group to take a look at and you would like me to look at it and give you my opinion on it before the market closes, you know, put it in the chat, put some asterisks by it or something so I know it's time sensitive, and I will do my best to get to it. So all right, hope that makes sense. Hey, Evan says, I was wrong on Friday. SDC did hit a profit target for me today. Okay, excellent. Let's take a look. Oh, nice. Oh, it's up 4.81%. Very nice, Evan. My favorite part of the day is hitting profit targets. Hey, Mount Doji, what's going on, buddy? Mount Doji says, back from my mini vacation. Awesome. I think I saw a picture of you on Twitter. I think that was you golfing. I'm not sure, but always great to have you here, Mount Joji, and glad that you had a good vacation. So, all right. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. So hang tight, please. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right. Evan says, what do you think of ATVI if it closes above the 50 RSI? Well, let's take a look. Well, in order for this to trigger a V1, let's see, so a 50 would be right about here at 53.92. So 53.92. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, it would be a higher low V2, 2 days down. Looks like MACD is getting close to crossing. I think I like it. Let me take a look at the weekly. Yeah, I mean, the weekly has come back into the value zone, so that's in a good spot. But I, at the very least, would want this to trigger a V2. The close is 59.36. Oops. Close 53.69. Sorry. Yeah, so I mean, 53.69 would be a qualified V2. I think I like it better if it closed above the 50, but you know, higher lows, I like higher lows a lot. So it's in the value zone, came down, had some new buyers coming in today, but at the very least, Evan, I would want this to close above 53.69 to trigger a valid V2. Even better than that, 53.92 to get above 50 RSI. Marco, hey buddy, good to see you. Nice to have you here. Marco says, good afternoon, Greg, and all. Good evening to you, my friend. Thanks for coming. Anything I can help you with, please let me know. Mount Doji says, interested to hear your thoughts on ZAG. I have never heard of this. Looks pretty good, Mount Doji. I mean, we were above the 1 ATR channel, back into the value zone, sideways movement, stab down, big reversal, over 50. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly caught support here about halfway of this big washout bar. It's above the 1 ATR channel, but not too extended. You know, even if we were to based our risk to reward off here on the high here, well, see, if we based it upon there, we'd be at 8.817. Yeah, I mean, it's 2 to 1. I mean, halfway the washout bar. And I also liked that it bounced off the 100 day. So or 200 day. It bounced off the 200 day, had a nice V2 in value above 50. Yeah, I like it. Amount Solo, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Christopher Hitchin, hey, hi all. Hey, Christopher, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. All right, well, so we had snow here today in Utah. Earlier in the day, I was out shoveling snow, first shovel of the year, throwing some salt around, and man, that was a workout. If you're not used to throwing snow, it can definitely become a workout. So, all right. So let's get started. Take a look at the current positions and see how we're doing with those. All right, I did buy Etsy back here on the 21st of November. I bought it with this higher low V2. In addition, the day that I bought it, it went over 30 RSI. The previous day was under, so we went under 30, over 30, which is a good signal. Then we also had a V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 closes above day 1's close. That is also a good signal. It happened inside the third ATR channel, which I like. And the day that we bought it, we had a MACD crossover. So under 30, over 30, nice V2, MACD crossover. You know, that's what I was talking about earlier, having a confluence of signals. And it's worked out nicely so far today, hasn't it? I mean, the last couple days. So we did hit one profit target here today at 42.40. You can see I almost hit my second profit target up here at 43.32. It got as high as 43.27. So I missed it by about 5 cents, but that's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. But this is doing well. You know, going forward, I'd like it to get a little bit higher before I start trailing the stop. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But took out yesterday's high, which is always a good sign. So going forward here, I'll just have to make a decision on a close back below. I'd like to see it go a little further up. 50 RSI up here is where initially what I'm targeting. If it rejects that, closes back below, I would get out of this trade. But you know, steady as she goes. It's moving up, and you know, the important thing here is just to do nothing, because there's nothing to do here, right? So anyway, nice trade today, up 1.6%. All right, well, the all famous SPY trade. So I know that you hear this every day, and I apologize for the repetition. However, if we have some new viewers today, I want to be able to go over this so they understand what I'm doing. But I do buy the SPY every day at the close of the market, and I sell it the first thing the next morning. And it's not based upon technicals. It's not based upon anything. It's on anything technical, I should say. It's based on a long-term back-tested approach done by Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. She's the chief investment officer at Charles Schwab. But with this study, there's two options. Option number one is you could buy the SPY at the open each day in the morning, sell it at the close every day in the afternoon. So buy at the open, sell at the close. Buy at the open, sell at the close. If you did this every day since 1993, for all your trouble and all your hard work, you'd actually return a negative 13.9% return for all your hard work. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close each day, sell it the next morning. So buy at the close, sell the next morning. Buy at the close, sell the next morning. If you've used this approach since 1993 every day, you would have returned a positive 634.2% compared to doing the opposite of buying in the morning, sell in the afternoon, a negative 13.9%. So, that being said, I would rather allocate money to an approach that backtests well compared to one that doesn't. So past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's true, and it goes for any trading methodology. But again, if you are going to allocate money and put money at risk in the market, it would, in my opinion, it's better to do it with something that shows a good track record than something that doesn't. The blue line here is the buy in the afternoon, sell in the morning. You can see over time it has done extremely well. The opposite, the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon, has been a complete zero dud and actually has lost money. So, I love this chart because it shows you if you have a long-term, if you have an edge and you trade long term, and you can let that edge play out for you in the long run. Along the way, there's ups and downs. This is to be expected with any trading approach, even if you have an edge. So, don't get too down on yourself if you start trading a methodology that's back tested well, but it doesn't work right away, because, there's normal ups and downs in this distribution. So, my advice to everyone is look at trading for the long term. Don't try to make a lot of money quickly. Give yourself years as far as, a time horizon. Trade correctly. Each trade's just one trade out of the next 1,000 trades. And if you use this approach in trading, I think you're going to do just fine. When you get in trouble is when you get frustrated. You want to make a lot of money quickly. You take too large of risk, and that's what happens. So anyway, this is why I buy the SPY at the close every day and sell it first thing in the morning. And I bought this Friday here at 310.96 and sold it first thing this morning at 311.99. So really nice move up. I believe this will give me a high for the year using this approach. We had 2 good days in a row. Thursday, bought here, sold at the open. Friday, bought here, sold at the open. A little higher than where we sold it today, when we sold at the open, but that's okay. So, it will be interesting on the SPY to see whether or not we can, because here it's at all-time high. It'll be interesting to see if we can close above this previous high. If we do, that's bullish. If we close back underneath, that's a bit bearish. So anyway, nice overnight SPY trade here. I will be buying the SPY at the end of the day and selling it again first thing tomorrow morning. All right, just give me a second. All right, Twitter. So I did buy Twitter back here on the 21st of November. The previous day, we had a higher low V2. So here's the day that I bought it. 2 days ago, we had day 1, we had the low. Day 2, we washed out the low. Day 3, we closed above day 1's close. Higher low, MACD was positive. Went under 30, over 30 on the day that we bought it. So it's very similar to Etsy. So under 30, over 30. Had a nice V2. MACD was positive, back in the value zone, and closed above the 10-day moving average. You know, be on the lookout for these kind of things. When you see price, look how long the price has been under the 10-day. That's the kind of the pink fuchsia line. Been under there a long time. Finally, on the day that we bought it, it broke back over. But not only did it break back over, but it went under 30, over 30, V2, higher low V2, MACD positive. So that's why I bought it. And it's been a really nice trade so far. I think we hit a profit target on Friday, and then we hit another one today here at 30.33. Second profit target for me today is 30.63. So it's not quite there yet. Moving forward, I am keying off of the 50 RSI, which is up here. So if it goes up here, rejects that, I will go ahead and just get out of the trade. Going forward, if we have a close below the previous day's low, I might also consider getting out of that as well, since we've moved and extended beyond the entry. I'd like to see it go a little bit higher, honestly, before I institute trailing stop, but we'll just have to see how it goes. All right, XLU. So I did buy XLU back here on the 20th. This is the utility sector, higher low V2. We closed under the 1 ATR channel. We moved into the value zone, which is between this green line and this green line, the 1 ATR and the negative 1 ATR. So we closed below, went in, went down, had a higher low V2. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 2 washes out day 1, day 3 on the day that I bought it, closed above day 1's close. It's been going down ever since I bought it. I mean, not a lot at all, but my initial stop on this was a close below halfway of this washout bar. Halfway is 62.83. The next couple days, we tested that level, closed above, tested that level, closed above. Today, we are under it, barely. If it closes under 62.83, I will go ahead and just get out of the trade. Currently, it's 62.81. So this is something I'm going to have to watch. It might be right on the bubble, photo finish right at the end of the day. So I'll just have to watch this one at the end of the day. But yeah, this one has been a loss, but you know, very small. So, and then McDonald's. For any of you out there that trade options, I do sell premium. I do sell puts. When I sell puts, I like to identify a strike price, and with options, you have to identify a strike price under, if you sell options, you have to identify a strike price underneath you that if by the end of the contract period, the price stays above that price, then you keep all of the premium for writing the put. I like to pick a price that has support not only on one time frame, but 3 time frames. So if I look at the monthly, that $180 price is smack dab in the middle of the value zone. So the midline there should act as some kind of support on this time frame. If I go to the weekly time frame, that $180 price does have support with the 100-week right underneath it. In addition to, it will be the very, very low 30s, close to 30 RSI on the week. So there should be some theoretical support there as well. On the daily, that $180 price, strike price, slightly underneath the 5th ATR channel. Very difficult to get prices to come to the 5th and the 6th ATR channel. Ideally, I would have liked the monthly and the weekly and the daily. I would have liked the daily to have lined up with the 6th ATR channel, but sometimes you can't just get it to go perfect. But interesting, you know, it's a strange thing with options is that even though the price is down today, the option position that I have is made money today. So it just means that the time value exceeded what the downward price was moved based upon the delta. So anyway, not too worried about this trade. If it closes up, it has to close above 180 by December 13th and be able to keep the premium. If it came down here, I would be responsible to buy it in this area, but that's why, you know, before I sold the put on here, I wanted to identify a price where I wouldn't mind buying it if I had to. So hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's it. So Etsy, doing fine. Doesn't look like I'm going to have to do anything with that. One profit target there today. SPY had that really nice overnight SPY trade. Going to be buying that again at the end of the market. Twitter, doing fine here. I'm looking for a rejection of the 50 RSI above. One profit target. XLU's right on the button here of me having to exit this trade for a small loss. And we just talked about McDonald's. So that's that. Oh, wow. We have a lot of comments here. Okay. Merritt. Awesome to have you back, Merritt. We were all concerned about you. All concerned about you with the jumping in the empty pool comment. And then the next day we saw oil moved and we weren't exactly sure if you were in or not. But thanks for coming back, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Evan says Merritt lives. Hey, Jesse, what's going on, bud? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you always so much for coming by. Merritt says, yes, correct. I wasn't able to follow past 2 days. I survived. Okay, good. Evan says, you had us worried with that empty pool jump comment and then disappeared. That's right. It wasn't that empty. It was a bad trade. It was close to stupidity, actually. But once in a while, I do this kind of silly trades. The stock is at the 6 ATR channel now. It moved from 0 to 6 ATR channel in 8 sessions. Wow. That's a big move. And I just couldn't help myself to short it. It was going to collapse one day, but I won't have any position. I closed with a loss, but it wasn't too big. Good. A man solo. Oh, look at that star. That's what I'm talking about right there. Thoughts on SEDG. SEDG. Well, I like the V2 here, but you see how we came from a lower low? You know I like higher lows better. This is a lower low V2, and the way that I look at this, a man solo, is I am not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it went up another day or two, but the people that bought way down here on this lower low, likely to sell when it runs out of gas. So people that buy lower lows are not in it for the long run, and it makes it volatile after it goes up. So, me personally, I don't think I would buy this. I think it has a good start to a possible setup. If it could go up maybe another day, then come down for a couple days, and then get a higher low V2, because the people that bought here, if it starts getting weak, they'll be selling. But if we can get a new group of buyers here to move it up, then you don't have to worry about these people selling anymore because they sold it on the way down here before that next group in. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's a fractal. Fractal is a high with 2 lower highs to the left, 2 lower highs to the right. Looks like it could have rejected the 50 RSI. Yeah, which I don't like. I mean, you know me, if I would have bought here for whatever reason, if I would have been out today on the rejection of the 50. So that's just my honest opinion. I would probably wait for look for a pullback and look for a higher low V1 or V2. So that's my opinion. Jesse says, looks like all of us TDA customers are now Schwab clients. Oh man, I'll tell you what, Jesse, I hope that they don't switch over charting platforms. I used to, when I traded futures, I was at Options Express, and then Schwab bought them, and there was this clunky move over from Options Express over to Schwab. And of course, you know how it is. You get your charts all set up, everything you like, and then something like this happens. But I don't know. It seems like TD Ameritrade has great charts. I'd be surprised if Schwab changed it all up. Hey, Steve, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, Steve Burns. Always nice to see you. Always an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. Steve says, hey, Greg, my Etsy is working out so far. Yes, it is. Actually, it's working out for both of us. I think we both have Etsy, so fantastic. And I know Steve bought that off of the under the third over the third, or maybe it was a rejection of the third Keltner channel. So congratulations, my friend. Congratulations to both of us. Mount Doji says, I see V2 on GNC. I see V2s when I go hiking. Yeah, there, but see, we're down, 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 down. We haven't had a lot of sideways movement, Mount Doji. That's my only concern. I like to see sideways movements and not just a big V bounce, because V bounces, in my opinion, tend to fail more often than ones that come into the value, move sideways, and then have a V1 or V2. So just my opinion. All right, I better get on to psychology. I'll get back to those. Other messages in a second before I run out of time. All right, so listen, this is the time of the day that I like to talk about trader psychology. There's some great Twitter channels out there, and the owners of these channels put a lot of time and energy into posting good words of wisdom, trading words of wisdom, and good information about trader psychology, good sayings, and so forth. And I want to thank them all for doing this, because it's a lot of work. You know, they don't make any money from doing this. They're just trying to be helpful. And one of the best channels out there, Twitter channels, is Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine on Twitter at TraderTPaine. And so if you haven't subscribed to him, I really suggest that you would. I think he puts out some of the best words of wisdom out here. But I have talked about this one before, but I think it's so good that it was worth repeating. Learning to trade is like putting together a 10,000 piece puzzle. And after countless hours of trying to put it all together, the final picture simply reads, manage risk. And the longer you trade, the longer you have traded, the more you realize the truth in this statement. It's all about managing risk, everybody. It's about not letting trades get away from you, losses piling up, cutting them short, even though you don't want to, staying in trades that are going your way, even though you want to take profit. But again, we are risk managers first and stock traders second. Think of yourself as a risk manager, and then think of yourself, how good of a risk manager have you been, right? Concentrate on managing that damn risk. Excuse my language, guys, but it's so freaking important. I've been there. You know, I've been trading so long, and I'll tell you, when I really get down on myself is when I think that I'm smarter than the market, take a position, hold a freaking position when I'm not supposed to. I mean, it really makes me feel guilty. So, you know, I really do try as hard as I can to just cut those losses immediately, and I hope that you do too. But thank you, Thomas. But again, learning to trade is like putting together a 10,000 piece puzzle. After countless hours of trying to put it all together, the final picture simply reads, manage risk. So please think of yourself as a risk manager first. Manage that risk before you do anything else, and the rest will follow. If you manage the risk, the profit will come, right? Build it and they will come. Manage your risk and the profits will come. So thank you, Thomas, so much. Appreciate your hard work and all your great sayings. Okie dokie. Murat says, since I was so much focused on oil trade, I actually didn't follow the stocks closely. This is one reason why I think I just went ahead and shorted the stock. I didn't do good study, just impulse. Yeah, been there, buddy. Been there. But, you know, if we can just wait for a signal. The thing about a signal is then you know where to get out. If you just impulsively buy something or sell something, it's hard to kind of calibrate and know where your stop is going to be, right? So that's one of the biggest advantage of waiting for a correct setup. Then you know exactly where your stop's going to be. And it takes a lot of angst out of the trade. Man Solo, thanks, Greg. Seems like Home Depot trying to do what you were speaking about earlier. Yeah. Oh, look at Home Depot. Now it is above 30. So when I go through, I'm going to be buying this if it's above 30. Jesse says, I hope we don't lose TOS. It's too popular. I agree. Jesse said, took PDD last Friday up almost 8% today. Are you kidding me? Woohoo! Nice, Jesse. So you got this, the over, under 30, over 30, I believe, right? Yes, sir. Okay, so, you know, if this were my trade, I'd be watching that. I'd be watching that 50 RSI, Jesse. See if we reject that. Congratulations. Steve Burns says, break back over Etsy's third deviation channel was my signal. Glad you are in it. Yep. Yeah, it looks like it's rallying here a little bit at the end of the day, so that's good. Murat says, for some reason on Mondays, I often lose money on oil trades. Because of this, I usually do very small trades on Monday. Today, for example, I am negative. I will figure out this one today. Well, if you see a pattern, I don't see anything wrong with going smaller if you tend to have a down day. So, okay. All right, well, let's get to it. Apple having a big day today. Can't buy it up here. It's too high. We did have a pullback, and people did buy that dip. I thought people were going to buy that dip. I was pretty sure. Whenever you have a big move up and then you have a dip, the people that weren't able to get in want to get in a little bit better price. But I can't buy up here. It was going into the value zone and immediately bounced. So I need some kind of sidewards movement inside the value zone, inside the green, for me to get interested in this, or a big pullback, maybe to the 50 low RSI, something like that. Adobe, look at this, insane. I mean, this market move reminds me of 1999 and some of the crazy bull markets. So honestly, when I see this, it scares me because I know what happened to all the rest of those. But obviously can't buy up here. Third ATR channel, 90% of prices fail at the third ATR channel. 90% of prices find support at the negative third ATR channel. So at the very least need to pull back into value. Advanced micro devices did have a little bit of a dip here, but not enough of a dip. I need a dip into the value zone for me to get interested. Okay, Amazon. So listen, Amazon, if it closes above the 250-day moving average, that is a valid buy signal. It's a good long-term back-tested approach trading Amazon. So if Amazon does close above the 250-day moving average, 1770.51, I will go ahead and buy this. If it closes the next day under, I will just immediately get out. So it gives me a good risk to reward. You know, my reward to the upside, you know, it's probably going to be pretty important how it reacts around the 200, but we could move up to the 200. But if I'm wrong, could be wrong very small, potentially. But to the upside, I could have, you know, 2 to 3 times the upside. So if Amazon closes above the 250 day today, I will buy it. If it closes in the coming days under the 250, I immediately go ahead and just get out. How are we doing on time? All right. Boeing's doing great, hanging above the 200. You know, it's been above the 200 for many days. That is a good sign. Just too high for me to buy here. Berkshire Hathaway did come back into the value zone, which is good. We only moved sidewards one day, then we took off here. We didn't have a valid V1 or V2, so unfortunately I can't do anything with Berkshire Hathaway. Caterpillar, gosh darn it, you guys remember, right? I was supposed to take this trade back on the 21st with this V2 above value, in value, couple days of sideways movement, spike down, reversal. I didn't take it. Not on purpose. I just was at the end of the day, I got caught up with a couple other stocks, and I didn't take it, unfortunately. And it's moved nicely. I guess I could have taken it on Friday, but when I miss a trade, I hesitate to get back in. But looks like that was a mistake. But anyway, it is a good example of a good setup, though. Close above the 1 ATR channel, into the 1 ATR channel, couple days sideways movement, stab down, reverse back up, and yeah, This one got away from me, but anyway, good example of a return to value trade with the V2 entry. Dow Jones, I can tell you guys on these indexes, we made this high with very high MACD. We had a pullback. We had some red. Now we're getting close to making the high again, but no green to be found. This is what Dr. Alexander Elder calls a double tops with a bearish divergence. It doesn't necessarily mean just because we have a divergence it's going to go down, but it's not a great sign. So on the S&P and the Qs and the Dow, this retest of the highs is coming on a bearish divergence. So just something to keep in mind. Walt Disney, of course, had that huge day up. It's just moved sideways since then. Need to pull back into value. Our Etsy's doing really nice. One profit target today. Be nice if we could hit that second profit target, right? But targeting the 50 RSI up here. Ford Motor Company, big, nice, strong day today. The 520 does not backtest well on Ford, so nothing on Ford. Facebook, doing just fine, but it's too high. I don't want to buy it above the 1 ATR channel. I need to pull back into value. Above the 1 ATR channel, I consider it overvalue. In between the two greens in the value zone, I consider it at value. And under the 1 ATR channel, I consider undervalued. And, Dr. Alexander Elder taught me, he said, stocks are the only thing that people never want to buy on sale. They want to buy it when it's at its peak price. And, the way Dr. Elder trades, he waits for things to be back in the value zone or undervalued before he buys. He never buys above value. And it's right? Nobody wants to buy stocks on sale because it's scary. They always want to pay full retail. They always want to pay full freight for that. Interesting, right? Gold, nothing here on gold, but I am looking for gold to come down another day or two and test this previous low, because if we do, we will have a nice double bottom with a bullish divergence. This is a bullish setup. When you have a low, you have a rally, you come back down, you test that low or go lower, and the depth of the MACD on that second is very shallow compared to how deep the first one is. That means it's running out of momentum, and the implication is if it's running out of momentum, the downside is very likely to go to the upside. So this is one of those situations where you look out into the future, you find a good setup, it makes a lot of sense, it's not impulsive because it's nothing there for us to do, but this does make a lot of sense for me. So gold down in this range, I would be looking to buy gold, but because of the double bottom with the divergence, if it gets there. But just because you have a double bottom divergence doesn't mean you buy right away. It just means that it's a good setup, but then you also need a trigger. Gold, regular gold, the commodity gold, not as strong as the gold miners, because the gold miners painted some green here where the gold did not. Even if we do come back down, test this low, it will not be a double bottom with the divergence, even though these bars are more shallow because we never had any green. You need some green MACD bars for it to be valid. Google, above the value zone, in the value zone, sideways movement. This is all good. Guess you technically could call this a V2, but yes, Friday washed out Thursday a little bit, but not enough. I would like to see this stab down reverse. That's where I would take my long. But above value, into value, moving sideways, this all looks good. Now we just need a valid trigger. Goldman Sachs, very, very strong today. Above value zone, I need to pull back into value. Home Depot, look at this, guys. Under 30, over 30, and cherry on top, V1. So I will be buying Home Depot at the end of the day as long as we stay above 30 RSI. IBB is just out of this world, just way too high. Intel, kind of range bound there, nothing I can do with that. Russell 2000, look how strong the Russell is today compared to the rest of the indexes. My goodness, these are the mid caps. Boy, that is strong. However, I do want to point out, look at this high. Look how high the MACD bars are. Then we go back down, bearish MACD bars. Now we are higher than the previous high. No green to be found. No green to be found whatsoever. And in addition, at this high, we were like, what, 3 3/4 ATR channel. Now we're higher only at the second ATR channel. So what this is saying, you know, the way Dr. Elder taught this to me, this is running out of momentum, even though this looks like huge momentum. But this looks bearish to me, but not right this second, just potentially bearish. If I had like a V1, V2 or something like that to the downside, possibly lower high V1, V2, something like that, I might consider it. But I just point this out for index sakes, that most of the indexes are now having these double tops with bearish divergences. Johnson & Johnson, I'm glad to see that go down. You guys know I bought here, moved up nicely, down, 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 back to my entry. I had to get out, was profitable, and then took off without me, but it happens. Coca-Cola, we were under the value zone, in the value zone. I'm looking now for a higher low V1, V2. Lockheed Martin above the 1 ATR channel, need to pull back into value, sideways movement, V1, V2. MasterCard, same, above the 1 ATR channel, pull back into value, V1, V2. McDonald's, of course, I sold the put on that down to 180, so have almost $12 protection to the downside. I'm not too worried about that. Altria, it's just been chugging away. This thing has moved so high, so strong. Oh boy. Anyway, nothing I can do with that. Merck, nothing I can do with Merck. Microsoft, just too high, getting close to the third ATR channel again. Netflix, very, very, very strong here. Need to pull back into value for me to get interested. Nike, a little weak today, lower high compared to this previous high here, V1. So this is a lower high V1 to the downside. I'm not going to short this, but just want to point that out. I always talk about higher lows are the better ones to buy if you're long. Well, if you're short, lower highs are the better ones to short. Philip Morris, well, above value, above value, above value, came into value, couldn't hold the value. This is the first day we've kind of held. So if we could get a couple more days sideways, then a V1, V2, I would take it and buy that dip. PayPal has a nice V2 here. It's higher low, but we closed above the 1 ATR channel. We never closed underneath the negative 1 ATR channel. If we closed underneath the 1 ATR channel, then I can look for a higher low V1. Think especially Mount Doji knows what I'm talking about, is when you come into the value zone, then you make a lower high, you first have to wash out that first dip in order for it to be valid. So I can't take this trade here. I need to wash this out first. Qs, okay, again, here's the index. Here we have a high. We have the big strong momentum on this move up. We pull back into the value zone with some bearish MACD to the downside. Now we're equal to or higher high than that previous high. No green bars to be found whatsoever. So this is what Dr. Alexander Elder would consider, potentially bearish. Silver, I'm looking for a dip down here, possibly a test of this previous low, maybe V1, V2, somewhere in this area under the third ATR channel back over. That might be interesting, or a deep dip buy to the 30. SPY, of course, we have that nice overnight trade. Going to buy that again today at the end of the day. Bonds, interesting. Bonds rallying very, very strong off that third ATR channel, but too strong here. I need a pullback. Tesla was down big because of that Cybertruck they came up with, and they had all these orders, so it's up big, but it has sold off most of its gain after that gap. So we are in the value zone, above value, now in the value zone. If we could get this to move sideways for a couple days, then maybe I could get a V1, V2 out of this. Twitter, of course, we took that nice trade a couple days ago on Twitter. It's moved nice, one profit target, looking to see if it could reject the 50 RSI to the upside. United Healthcare Group just keeps moving up. This is like a super short killer right here. Cannot get involved here. Need to pull back into value. Oil, here's for Murray. Above the 200-day moving average. A little choppy last few days, looks like. Closed above the 1 ATR channel. I need this to pull back into value, some sideways movement of V1, V2 for me to get interested. Look at VIX, everybody. This is unbelievable, this move down. We got in a couple times, over 30, got out, and this thing has just crazy. But I tell you one thing I got to point out. This is what Dr. Alexander Elder calls not a double bottom with a bullish divergence. This is a triple bottom with a missing right shoulder. We have a low, deep MACD bars. We have a rally to some green. We make a lower low, less red. This is divergence. This is double bottom with a divergence. Now we made another rally. Now we've made a third bottom, no red whatsoever. So this is what Dr. Alexander Elder would call a triple bottom with a missing right shoulder. Missing right shoulder because we do not have any. We went deep red, green, small red. That's a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Now we went small red, green, lower low, no red, missing right shoulder. So, you know, the way Dr. Alexander Elder would view this is very bullish, which would be very bearish for the market. And, you know, when we looked at the indexes to the upside were looking bearish the way that Dr. Alexander Elder views these. Verizon, nothing. Walmart, actually down today. Nothing on Walmart. Energy Select. We closed under the 1 ATR channel, rallied into it. We had 1 day down. If we could get a couple more days down and then a higher low V1, that would be awesome. Financials, just too high. Real estate, basically break even today. We bought this here with this V2, under 30, over 30 V2. Had a nice trade, scaled, and then I had to get out 2 days ago when it closed below the previous day's low. But we did lock in some profits up here as well. So that was a good trade, but we're out of it. And then utilities. Okay, so utilities is what we have to watch. I did buy this higher low V2 here. My stop is halfway of the washout bar. Looks like we are now underneath the washout bar. So if this ends up under 62.83, I'll have to lock in that loss today. And healthcare, big day. So let us. All right. So looks like an entry in Amazon with a close over the 250. If it closes under the 250, I am out of there. But dip my toe in the water, and if I like it, feels warm, warms up, I'll keep it. If I'm wrong, I immediately get out. And Home Depot does look like it's going to close above 30 and a V1 on top of it. Okie doke. What do we have? We have 7 minutes. So what I do have to watch here is I have to watch utilities to see if it's going to close under 62.83 so I can get out, keep that loss small. Home Depot does look like it's going to close above the 30, but we'll have to see whether or not it makes a move at the end of the day. And then Amazon looks pretty good there as well. Hey, Wayne, good to see you, buddy. And hey, Kurt, how you doing, my friend? I'll get back to you, but let me just take a look at this. So, Wayne, I am going to get out of XLU if it closes under 62.83. That's halfway of the washout bar where I took the V2. So right now, very close, but if it closes under 62.83, I will be getting out. Oh, that's right. Chipotle. What's the symbol? Oh, there it is. I got lucky on that one. Oh, very nice, Kurt. Kurt took the 520 EMA crossover thanks to Steve and Trend Spider, because on ETF replay, I did not have the back test for that. Nice. Way to go, Kurt. No, a man solo. This is not a V2. It was earlier in the day. Here's day one. Here's day two. Intraday, it was above day one's close, but now it is below day one's close, so it does not qualify as a V2. I don't like this V2 anyway because the day one bar should not be larger than one ATR, and this looks a little larger than one ATR, but hope that makes sense. Here's day one, day two. Day two has to wash out day one's low, then day three has to close above day one's close. Intraday, we were above it, but it doesn't look like it's going to close above it now. Oh, DE was different than Chipotle. Sorry. Oh, Deere and Company. Okay. Jesse says, looks like 520 on DE, not so good. 73.59 compared to 25. Lots of drawdowns on the strategy. Oh, thanks, Jesse, for pointing that out. And we have earnings coming up, by the way, Kurt, as well. Keep that in mind. That's only a couple days away, so you literally would only be able to hold it today. All right. All right, Amazon. Gonna get to work here, and shoot. I'm gonna get to work here and buy Amazon. Boy, it's been a while since the Amazon trade. Okay. Okay. So Amazon's taken care of. And Home Depot. Boy, we've been pretty patient on this one, haven't we? We'll see how this works out. Want to point out that even though you're patient and waiting, and the setup looks good, obviously doesn't mean it's going to work out, right? But you have to make an educated guess and say, okay, it's a good setup. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but it's a good setup. So, all right, 88. That looks good. Okay. And now I have to turn my attention to utilities. That does look like it's going to close under, in my opinion. So let me get that queued up. What do we have? 1 minute left. All right, well, that looks like a sell to me. I don't want to cut it to the last second, but... Oh, now it's rallying a little bit. Uh-oh. 30 seconds. Now, I'm going to have to just do a leap of faith here. All right. Well, let's see what our new transactions are. So I did get out of XLU. I did buy SPY at 313.37. I did buy Home Depot at 218.50, and I did buy Amazon at $1,774.16. So SPY, that was nice overnight trade. New entry here. 313.37. Boom, right there. Home Depot, I bought at 218.50. So down about 4 cents on that trade so far. And Amazon, $17.74.16, so up slightly on that one. All right, so going into tomorrow, Amazon, Etsy, Home Depot, SPY, and Twitter. So we did hit that profit target on Twitter, got close to that second one, hit that profit target on Etsy. All right, so that's the lineup. Amazon with the close over the 250. Going forward, any close under the 250, I will be getting out. We'll see how it reacts around the 200-day moving average. Etsy, of course, is fine. Home Depot, I entered today with the under 30, over 30 intraday and the V1. SPY, the overnight SPY trade again. Took that again today at 313.30 and hit an all-time high with the overnight SPY approach on this trade today. And then Twitter. So that's that. All right. So, listen, I'm going to go through the rest of the comments and questions and the ones that I didn't get to. But before I do want to quickly put in my little daily plug. Hope that's okay with everybody, but I do want to let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching sessions in the evening time via Skype. I do really enjoy teaching. I've had really good success with my clients. I do offer a 10-hour course. It's 5 2-hour sessions, although most of the time they're not 2 hours, they're somewhere between 2 and 3, but no extra charge for that. But I like to stay on with my clients and my students, each session until I really feel like they have a grasp and understand that session. But I teach you everything that I've learned over the last 24 years as a full-time trader, what I've learned from all my trader mentors and coaches. And it's pretty intense course. The first part of the course I teach, then the second part I have you explain it back to me, I have you teach it back to me. We do a lot of chart study. I have you break down the charts, what's good here, what's bad here, what's your next trade here. And we do that for many hours. And but I do think if you do take the course, by the end of the course you'll have a much deeper understanding of trading, and I think you'll have a much clearer view of how to approach the market. And everyone talks about you need a plan to trade, and you hear that a lot, but I don't think people really have it. So we talk about everything. We talk about position sizing, we talk about entries, we talk about exits, we talk about psychology. But I've had some really good feedback from my students. Very glad they took the course. It is $1,000, but I think it's well worth the money for what you get and the intensity of the course. So if you're interested, you can reach out to me. My email's in the description of this video. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. And if you're kind of kicking the tires and wondering whether or not you do want to take the course, what I like to do is just have a free 30-40 minute conversation with you on Skype. You can interview me, I can interview you, see if it's a good fit for each other. But I do like to know about your trading experience and what got you into trading and how long you've been trading and what your challenges have been and what your goals are as far as returns and capital preservation and your risk and all that kind of stuff. So and then I'll really try to put together a good solid plan covering all the bases of trading. So like I said, if you're interested, please reach out to me. Emails in the description of this video, or you can send me a message on Twitter. And then if you like today's content, if you're learning something, if you found it valuable, I really honestly would appreciate if you could just move your little mouse down there and click on that thumbs up button. It does help grow the channel. There's tons of people out there. Like one of my students, Kurt, said, there's thousands of people out there that really could use help and with their trading, that really have no idea what they're doing. And I really do want to help those people, even if they just come to the live stream. I think they'll get a lot of information. So if you could, from this channel, so if you could just hit the thumbs up button, I really, really would appreciate it. So, all right, that's it. End of my plug. So let me just go through here and see if I miss some comments. So Man Solo said, thanks, Greg. Seems like Home Depot is trying to do what you were speaking about earlier. Right. So we did buy Home Depot under 30, over 30. In addition, we had a nice V2 here. Close. My stop will be a close under the 30. I'll be targeting the 50 RSI. And we said hello to Kurt. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Nice going on Chipotle. And then Wayne, hey buddy. So yeah, I talked about XLU. I did get out of XLU today. And then Kurt mentioned about the DE 520 crossover in the value zone, and Jesse was nice enough to say that does not backtest very well. And remember, we do have earnings, but Chipotle, I don't want to do that. So Kurt took the 520 EMA crossover, backtest well. He bought it here, I think 772.80, and up 1.79% today. Very nice, Kurt. Excellent, excellent. MACD's positive, all this good stuff. So way to go. Okay, and a Man Solo, I talked about XLRE. No, that was not a V. That was not a V2. Because even though day 2 washed out day 1, day 3, which is today, did not close above day 1's close. So no, that does not count. Hey, Bing He, good to see you, my friend. Bing He's our friend from Singapore. Bing He said, took profits for BRFS and went in HD. Good day today. Oh, I like to hear that. Let's take a look at Bing He's BRFS. BRFS. Yeah, buddy. Oh, look at that, everybody. See, Bing He, I told you, stay positive. It will work. I can't remember. I think you bought it here. I think you bought it back here on the 15th, 14th or 15th. Bing He with the big 4.94% move up today. Excellent, 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 my friend. Way to go. And he entered HD. I like that. I mean, it did close above 52. Technically, if I would have bought this, I would have held it because it did close above 52. My trailing stop now would be a close below 52. But hey, I can't blame you at all for getting out on a day like that and then rotating into Home Depot, which, maybe has a little better risk to reward. We don't know. These deep dip buys under 30, over 30, sometimes they work out fabulously. Other times they fail fabulously because the 30 under 30 group or the 30 RSI group came in here and bought this today. But if it pukes tomorrow, if it goes down tomorrow, I'm going to get out. And a lot of other people that bought on the same signal are going to get out. So we'll just have to see what happens. By the way, that was a full position on Home Depot because it was over the 200. Jackson, what's going on, my friend? Jackson slept in a little bit today in Australia. That's okay. He's been working hard on his move. Good to see you, my friend. Jackson says, you took half position in Amazon. Yes, sorry, I should have mentioned that. It's under the 200 day. So if it's under the 200 day, I do take a half position. Over the 200, I take a full. And it's just a filter that I use. Generally, stocks that are under the 200 are not as strong. And so when they're over the 200, I take a full. When they're under, I take a half. Christopher said, where did you put the stop on Amazon? So Christopher, I bought Amazon with the close above the 250-day moving average. My stop is a close under. Let's take a little quick look-see over here at this back test. All right. So this is etfreplay.com, and this is where I do my back testing. So this is a standalone approach to being in Amazon if the price closes over the 250, getting out when it closes under the 250. And so here's the back test. Stay in above the 250, get out under the 250. Back test, buy and hold, much better, 2,405%, but it still returned 1,281% return based upon that back test, right? Getting out under 250, staying in over 250, and the drawdown was much better. I mean, imagine this, guys. In order to make this 2,405%, at some point you would have lost 93.3% of your money in Amazon before it rallied. Right? It's crazy to get your head around that. But so that's why I bought it. This back test. It does back test positively. No doubt about it. Look at the win, the average win compared to the loss. 49% on the wins, losses are 2.8%. So it's like a 25-to-1 risk to reward ratio. But the rub is it's only a 13.4% winning percentage. So it's not a high winning percentage, but the profit factor is huge. So I like these kind of trades. They're very simple. If they close under the 250, I just get out, hopefully with a small loss. If I'm correct, then I have the ability to have some nice upwards moves. So close under 250 tomorrow would be my stop, Christopher. Kurt says, Greg changed my trading for the best 100%. Let's hit the thumbs up, guys. It's the least we can do for this free, valuable information. Oh, thanks, Kurt. Appreciate that, bud. And I'm glad I was able to, help. I'm glad and it was great working with you too. I mean, it's great working with all my clients. It really, really is. It's kind of a bummer because I work with them for 5-6 sessions, like every other night for 2-3 hours. You really get to know them, kind of have fun and learn, and then it's done, but it's nice that I can see him in the chat here. Jackson says, I've been up lurking. Aha. Sounds suspicious. Do you have any trades, Jackson? Anything going on with you, bud? So yeah, I mentioned earlier we had snow last night. So I was out shoveling the driveway today and throwing some salt out there because it gets icy. So I'm going to have to put on my heavy duty snow boots today. If you can think of the movie poster for The Thing, that 1980s movie down in Antarctica, that's basically what I look like when I'm tromping around in the snow with my wolf next to me. Goggles on, wind blowing. Jackson says, actually not sure who mentioned above, but had an eye on Zag. That was Mount Doji. You know, the thing, Jackson, on the reason that I had a little concern with this particular chart was we did come into the value zone here. You know, I guess it's fine in that we came into the value zone. We did move sideways. We had that big spike down and V2 for sure. Yeah, and bounce off the 200. Yep, not bad. Well, we kind of did have sideways though, Jax, because look, we came into the value zone. We stopped going down. We kind of held steady, held steady, held steady. So we kind of held steady for 3 days, basically. And then a big spike and reversal back up. Still not too high in the value zone, bounced off the 200. No gap here. Christopher says, where's Murat, the oil man? Murat's here. He was here earlier anyway. And Evan, where did ATVI close? Okay, well it did trigger the V2, Evan. Here's day 1. So we closed below the value zone. We climbed into the value zone. We had 1 day down, 2 days down. Day 2 washed out day 1. Day 3 closed above day 1's close, making it a valid higher low V2. Now it did close at 48.98, but you know, that one's really a coin flip there because it didn't really reject the 50 to the upside. So, I mean, I think I still would have taken this, you know. Murat says, I am here. He's there, Christopher. Evan said, I wanted RSI. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's more confirmation for sure. So how did everybody do today? How's everybody doing with their trading? I saw some good positions. I know Kurt had a good position. I know Bing He had a huge position, a huge move. Congratulations, Bing He. Christopher said I dropped off earlier due to bad reception. Oh, okay. Murat says, just listening. I have a small project to finish working on my computer. So it's, you know, it's been a really good month. Very happy for that. How's everybody else doing this month? Jackson says, yes, Greg, still moving. Also been smashing gym recently. Arms struggling to click the mouse. Good job. Evan says, my trading was good today. As I said earlier, SDC did well. Yes, it did. 4.7%, I would say, as well. Very good. Did you buy this back here, Evan? Did you buy this back here on the 19th when we had this V1 and under third ATR channel over? I kind of think I remember you did. Like 895, somewhere in there. So fantastic. On the 19th. Excellent. See, better than buying up here with no signal, right? Waiting for that signal. Evan says, I took some profits the next day and today. Good. Just make sure you have a plan. Just make sure you have a plan of what you're going to do to the upside and what you're going to do to the downside. You know, your upside plan can be a little bit more fluid, you know, but your downside plan cannot be fluid. It has to be black and white, picking that spot, getting out if you're wrong. Greg Jackson says, Greg, what is your concern with Zag? I'm not sure if I missed it or if you didn't finish. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's it's good. I think the first time I looked at it, I didn't like it as much, but the closer that I look at it, I mean, we're above the 1 ATR channel. We come back into the ATR channel, or into the value zone. We hold steady, we hold steady, we hold steady. We basically hold steady. Then we have the big washout Friday and the big reversal back today. So yeah, I like it. I mean, I like it. Bounce off the 200, close above the 50 RSI. You know, target up there to the 70 for the phase outs, Jackson, right? But even if you targeted just the previous high and you look at the risk to reward, from here up to here's like 8%. From here down to the halfway is like about 5%. So it's not exactly 2 to 1. I mean, if there was only there's one thing maybe that concerned me about it is the risk to reward's not as great as I would like, but it's a great example of above the value zone, into the value zone, finding some support, stab down and reverse. And then on the weekly, you know, if we look at it on the weekly, we have the big bar up. These big bars should hold half support, and it has held that half support, not Friday, but today it's back over that half support, so that's good. So yeah, I think it's fine. Evan says, thank you for your interest in our trades. I haven't been trading long, but it makes it more enjoyable to discuss it with you. Well, good. I'm glad, Evan. That's why I asked. Plus, I get tired of talking about my trades all the time. I'd like to know what you guys are doing too. You know, give me a little change up to look at yours. And I like to look at some of the stocks that you trade. Like I always trade my watch list, so it's always kind of fun for me to look at, you know, I know there's other stocks out there other than my 50 of them or 60 of them, right? So, but, and it's good. I think it's good to discuss trades. And so always please share your trades with me. A man solo says, I think Greg didn't like how there was no real sideways movement on Zag, also risk reward. You know, the closer that I look at this, though, is that we came into the value zone. Okay, we went down. We did hold here. We did hold here. We kind of didn't hold here, but we held this low here. Like, it's decent sideways movement. It's decent, but it's mainly the risk to reward that concerns me the most, because if I look at this previous high up here, from here to here was like 8%, and my stop would be halfway of this washout bar. And so it's like 8% to the upside, 5% to the downside. So it's okay. It's still okay. Evan says, otherwise it would just be my wife asking how much I lost today. Evan, just some advice, but spend some time with your wife. Explain to her your trades. Explain to her where your stop is going to be, where your potential reward's going to be. It's always good to tell somebody else about where your stop's going to be, because then you kind of have a risk manager, kind of someone looking over you, lording over you. Because if she says, hey, Evan, did you get out? Well, no, I didn't. Why not? You told me that you were going to get out here. Why are you not out? Blah, 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 right? But tell your spouse about your trades so that you're accountable to somebody, like South Park, accountability buddies, right? But that's what I would do. And if you make that good plan, you stick to that good plan, Evan, she'll be asking you, how much did you make today? Jackson says, Evan, haven't been trading long, but realized the value in having a mentor, and Greg has been so valuable to help start with good habits to avoid some of the beginner's mistake. Yeah, I'll tell you what, some of my favorite clients are ones that have never traded before because they don't have any bad habits that I have to break them of, or they have to break themselves of. If you come into trading with no bad habits, breaking bad habits is a lot of work. But if you come into trading new and you don't have any bad habits, you're way ahead. Greg wants Evan accountable to his wife. Yes, I do. I want Evan to have his wife I want Evan to be accountable to his wife to help Evan. Evan says, don't worry, she lords over me plenty. Well, that may be, but tell her about your trading plan. Then it will be kind of fun for her too, and then you'll know you'll have someone, looking over. Because if she doesn't know anything about trading, you don't have anybody really accountable. But if you give her specifics of, I'm staying in here unless this happens. Jackson says, my girlfriend has read Trading in the Zone, second read, and reason for this is so I can talk soundboard off her, and it is good. She's not interested in trading, but just the psychology. Fantastic. And it really helps me remain accountable. It's very huge. It's a big deal. I ran into my friend at the gym the other day. His name is Nate. And I hired him for an entire year. Didn't know anything about trading. I taught him about trading, taught him everything. And his job was 100% each day to be accountable, to make me accountable to make sure I traded correctly. And I saw him. He goes, "Hey, I've been in the chat." And I'm like, "Well, you should say hello." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I will." So if he comes in one day, you'll know who he is. But I'll tell you what, you pay somebody to watch your trading to make sure that you're accountable. You are going to be accountable, and you're going to trade better. And the money that you pay that person, if you have to pay them, is going to be very small compared to what you could lose if you didn't have it. I've said this before, but you get people that trade for hedge funds or prop firms. They trade for 15, 20 years, do really well. They decide to go off on their own. They go home, they trade. All of a sudden, they can't make money anymore. And the reason why, when they were at the hedge fund or they were at the prop fund, they had somebody looking over them. They had a risk manager. And if their risk got out of control, then the risk manager just dumped the position on them. They didn't have any control. So they learned to trade correctly because they knew somebody was watching over them. But when they go off on their own, now they're all footloose and fancy free. And that's when the problems can start. All right, everybody. Well, listen, Jackson, thank you for coming by today. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for your comments. Evan, thank you, sir. But do tell your wife, try to explain a trading plan to her. I think you'll find it's helpful. I really do. Murat, thanks, buddy. Glad you're okay. Live to fight another day. Hope you have a good rest of your evening. Christopher Hitchin, good to see you, sir. I hope you keep coming back, and I hope this channel's helping. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Kurt, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much, and I will respond to your email, and one of those dates you gave me for our little brush up class, we'll do that. So looking forward to that, Kurt. Thanks a lot, bud, and fantastic trade on Chipotle. Jesse, good to see you. Be safe out there, my friend. Thanks for everything you do out there in law enforcement. Really appreciate it, and let me know how your trading's going, okay? And a man solo, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming by. Wayne K, good to see you again. Hope you keep coming back. Steve Burns, always an honor and a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. And let's hope Etsy goes up for both of us, right? And thanks again for coming. Mount Doji, good to see you. Thanks. I'm glad you had a good vacation. Glad to have you back. Mount Doji, good to see you. Glad to have you back. Marco, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well there. Anything I can help you with, you just please let me know, okay? I'm happy to do it. And I think that is it. Oh, and Bing He. Did I not say hi to Bing He? Anyway, fantastic trade. Proud of you, my friend. And Evan says, really enjoyed today. Thanks, and everyone have a great evening. All right. Jackson says, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it as always. Safe hike. All right. Yes, I will have a safe hike for sure. So, hey, thanks again for coming. Hope to see everybody tomorrow during the last hour of the day. And before I let you go, make sure you go out and do something nice for somebody today, okay? Just wave, a hi, a smile. Generally, just be nice. You might make somebody's day, and it really might affect the rest of their day with that small little gesture. So, all right. Thanks for coming again. See you tomorrow. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.